Welcome to another episode of First Past the Post podcast. I'm delighted to say I'm joined with my mate Liam Fitzgerald again tonight. Liam, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, all good. We've luckily got one more night's sleep ahead of the first day now, so absolutely buzzing. And tonight we'll be doing our day two preview for the Wednesday. So hopefully have a few winners between the two of us come this time tomorrow. And yeah, just like to say, obviously, thank you everyone. We put a tweet out earlier today. Actually, we hit 500 followers on Twitter, and obviously we appreciate everyone who tuned in to all our episodes, especially the last two to do with Cheltenham, the anti-post and the day one preview. It's done really well. I think it's slightly exceeded our expectations, actually, hasn't it? So thank you
Yeah,
everyone.
mate, for sure.
Thank you everyone for listening so far, and hope you enjoy our day two preview in this episode, which obviously we'll be kicking it off with the Ballymore on the Wednesday, won't we?
hmm I'm guessing you've gone for Sir Gerhard here as well.
Yeah, it's got to be done. Got to be done. I think obviously when the news broke that he was eventually going to be running in the Ballymore, I think a lot of people were saying it's arguably the banker of the festival, and you find it hard not to disagree with that. So yeah, Sir Gerhard for me. I mean, he's got to have a great chance, hasn't he?
Yeah, mate, I think he's a class above from the rest of the horses in the field, and he's taken to hurdles well. So I expect him to win this quite comfortably. Like you say, it probably is one of the bankers of the week, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he was unbeaten last term when he notably in the Champion Bumper, and obviously, like you say, he's won over hurdles, and just looks a top class horse. And I think the way he has won his starts over hurdles, you just got to think he's going to just keep on improving. But I mean, I suppose a slight sort of negative was, at Leopardstown there was, he didn't really, he had a couple of errors in that, but he still proved way too good. And like you say, being a class above, in terms of the opposition he's facing, and I think that goes on for Wednesday as well. He just sets a clear standard.
I agree with you there, mate, for sure.
And then obviously, in the race you have got Stage Star for Paul Nicholls, Journey with Me for Henry de Bromhead, Free Stripe Life for Gordon Elliott. But I mean, you're looking at them. I just can't see anything getting close to Sir Gerhard.
Yeah.
And if you were to have a bet in this, obviously, similarly to a few other races, you're going to be looking, betting without Sir Gerhard or just an each way play. I mean, is there one that you would take a look at each way on the day?
Personally, this is probably one of the races where I probably won't have a bet in. If I do, I'll chuck Sir Gerhard in with a few other favourites.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I suppose Journey with Me is quite an exciting horse. And he obviously a bumper scorer and won on debut over hurdles at Leopardstown in December, and that race has worked out quite well regarding form. So he could be a bit of a challenger, but like I say, I think we're in agreement, aren't we? So Gerhard's going to take a lot of beating in this Ballymore.
Agreed, mate. Spot
on. Next, we have the Brown Advisory Novices Chase, where I think, was it today it got confirmed that it's going to be Brave Man's Game, Le Homme Press, and Ahoy Senior, really, at the three at the top of the market, isn't it?
Yeah, Galopin de Champs is now going to the Turners. That's been confirmed, which I'm gutted about. But I've gone for Brave Man's Game here, to be fair. He looks natural over fences. He's 4 from 4 over fences now. Gave away a lot of weight last time out and beat some decent horses. He looks like a top class stayer as well in the making. So it's hard to go against him, to be honest, with what he's shown so far over fences.
Yeah, I agree. I've gone for Brave Man's Game as well. A horse I think we've both really taken to. I think, like you say, his jumping has it's probably got better each time. Looking a total natural over fences. And obviously when he gained that 4th straight success in the Newbury Handicap, after bagging that Kempton Grade 1, he's going from strength to strength really. And he's just, like I say, his jumping is absolutely superb. He's a top class stayer in the making, and I think, I've seen a few people saying their lay of the festival is Brave Man's Game. Probably because of the threat you've got with Venetia Williams' horse Low on Press, and I suppose Ahoy Senor as well. But then, I can't really see Ahoy Senor beating Brave Man's Game after, he didn't beat him at Kempton. But, Low on Press again is another one who's really taken to fences really well and looks a star as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does for sure. Another thing with Brave Man's Game is I did actually see he ticks a lot of the boxes for the trends for this race, so that's something to keep in mind. If having a bet, he actually fits 9 out of 10 of the main trends, so just shows that he probably will have what it takes to win this race.
Definitely, and I think obviously on a Ahoy Senor, I think obviously he'll be suited by the stamina test, and I think he'll go close, but I just think like Sir Gerhard, Brave Man's Game will have way too much quality and will be just another horse that'll be very, very hard to stop, I think.
Certainly can't see the form being reversed here.
No, nor can I, but just looking forward to the Brave Man's Game running at Cheltenham, because there was talk about him skipping to Aintree, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to seeing him, and hopefully he can win. And I think he's got a very, very good chance, and I'll be surprised if he gets beat.
I agree, mate. Hopefully he wins here and then goes to Kempton for the King George.
Yeah, and we've got a great bet for that, haven't we?
Yeah, 25 doesn't look too bad now, does
25 to 1. No, it looks a great bet. And I think if he does win on Wednesday, then I think that will just further enhance our bet for the King George, won't it, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks a very, very exciting bet we've got on for the King George. So yeah, hopefully Brave Man's Game can do the business. Moving on, to
the next race, the Champion Chase.
Well, the Coral Cup.
Oh, sorry, yeah, the Coral Cup. Sorry, I'm getting too far ahead of myself.
I know we're looking forward to seeing Shishkin again. I
know. For this one, I've gone for Unexpected Party. Fits a lot of the main trends here. I've gone with him. I've also backed him before on the podcast as well. He is 18 out of 21 winners this century in the race had run 9 times or less over hurdles, and he ticks that box. 9 out of 12 winners had run at Cheltenham previously. 7 of them finished in the first 4. He ticked that box. 11 out of 14 winners were 7 or younger. He ticks that. 10 out of 20 winners were French bred. He ticks that. And 9 out of 13 winners were rated in the 140s, and he ticks that. He looks very strong in the trends for this.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it's another one, isn't it? A massive handicap. 28 runners. I mean, I was trying to whittle it down to a few, and then ultimately pick one. But it was tough. I mean, I was looking at Unexpected Party as well.
Yeah.
But I've opted to go for one at a bit of a bigger price, which is Indigo Breeze for Gordon Elliott. And when looking at the trends to see if it fits anything that I'm looking for and excited by, and you look at sort of festival experience, which isn't a worry in this race, and 15 of the last 21 winners had not raced at the festival at all previously. And looking at Indigo Breeze, he is not he ain't been at the festival. So for me, that was a massive trend that made me whittle it down to choosing him. And I think, Gordon Elliott, you can't write off any of his horses, especially in the handicaps. And I think, again, if it's a few other trends, all bar three of the winners of this race this century were aged between 5 and 7, and he's 6, so fits another trend. And I think, it's an exciting one. And again, if you'd be lucky to get the winner of this, so pick one really at an each way price. So Indigo Breeze for me in this year's Coral Cup.
Should we move on to the Champion Chase?
Yeah, we both got Shishkin.
Yeah, for sure. I think he's going to take all the beating again, to be honest, mate. But I would love to see Len back to his best and win it.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about this a few times on the podcast. Obviously, when we eventually saw the clash between Shishkin and Erna Gamin, where obviously Shishkin got the better of him in the Clarence House at Ascot, and we were saying, weren't we? I think if there was a chance for Erna Gamin to beat Shishkin, it was probably then.
Yeah.
Because Shishkin didn't, his jumping wasn't great. He was jumping a bit to the left, and it was such a tight finish in the end. And Erna Gamin looked like, even jumping the last that day, he might have actually gone on to win, but Shishkin just had so much more left in the tank, and got him up and beat him. And I think that day I fancied Erna Gamin, but he didn't win. And like I say, I think it'd be very hard for him to reverse that form, where Shishkin at Cheltenham as well, a track that is definitely going to suit him much better. So I've got to go for Shishkin. And with Envoy Allen, I know you love that horse, but God, it'll be a tough ask, wouldn't it, to even get in the placing, won't it?
I'll be having a small sentimental bet on him, because knowing my luck, he'll go and win.
No, I mean, it would be good to see him run well.
I love him, mate. Hopefully he gets back to his best.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a wind up.
It would be a great story.
He's had a wind up, so that could make a difference. But obviously, one horse, Chakampour Soir. I mean, what are your thoughts on him? Because he won 6 Grade 1s over fences, and at the Dublin Racing Festival last time out, he was very, very impressive. But I know coming over to England, he doesn't quite do it, as we saw at Cheltenham and then in the at Sandown. But I'm not sure. I mean, do you keep persisting with him? Will he, if he turns it on over here, he could be a shout, couldn't he?
I just don't think he'll win this race, to be honest, mate. And like you said about his form over in Britain, that's something that would turn me off of backing him. He struggled to get up the hill last year, didn't he? He
did. But I think I heard Willie Mullins say that they might try something different with him in terms of the way they're going to get him over here, traveling wise. They might get him over here a bit later. I don't know if that will make a difference, but it's something that they're willing to try. And it would be interesting, because if he was to bring his A game over here, that could be not just the battle between Shishkin and Erna Gamin. It could be a 3-way battle, couldn't it? So it'd be exciting to see if he does bring his A game, and then if he does, and the other two do as well, then I'm sure we're in for some race, and hopefully some finish to the race as well.
Yeah, mate, it's top class race, like you said. I'm looking forward to it. One of the better races of the week for sure.
Yeah, so we've both gone for Shishkin. Moving on to the cross country race, which sadly will eventually be Tiger Roll's last race, won't it?
I'm guessing you've gone for Tiger Roll as well.
I have. It'd be nice to see him end his career on a high, and I think he's the worthy favourite, really.
You can't fault his form around Cheltenham, especially in this race as well. So yeah, it's pretty hard to look elsewhere, if I'm being honest with you. I think he'll win this. Apparently, Gordon Elliott said he's flying at home as well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at you know, in 2020, obviously he got denied a hat trick in this race, didn't he, by Easy's Land?
Yeah,
And I mean, you look at Easy's Land now, obviously trained by John Joe O'Neill. Not really, doesn't look a patch on the horse that we saw win the cross country in 2020.
yeah, mate. I agree with you there. He's not been at it at all, has he?
He's shown very little in his handicap hurdles for his new yard last month. Really, really disappointing. So he doesn't look the same horse, and he was the only one to put it up to Tiger Roll in 2020. So you're looking at that, you think Tiger Roll's got a great chance to, you know, win this for a third time. But I mean, it's interesting here. We've got the stablemate, haven't we, with Tiger Roll?
Yeah, Delta work.
So I mean, it'd be really actually disappointing if Delta Work wins this and denies Tiger Roll, because obviously two stablemates, and Delta Work obviously 5-time Grade 1 winner over regulation fences. So I mean, mind you, don't you think it's going to take a lot for this horse to show sort of class over, you know, this new course for this sort of horse? I mean, it's going to take a lot, isn't it, to go over cross country for the first time? But you know, if they've been working on him for this as a target, then you got to say he's up there, obviously in the market as second favourite. So you know, it'd be interesting if it's the two stablemates coming down to the last.
You've also got Prongard as well, haven't you? He was a big money purchase for JP McManus. Obviously, it was run over in France. It'd be interesting to see just how good he is in this sort of company.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I just can't see past Tiger Roll, and I really hope he does it. If he goes out on a high and this is his last race and he doesn't go for the Grand National again, I really hope he does it, because it put a lot of smiles on people's faces, because he's like the people's horse, isn't he?
Yeah, this will definitely be his last race. I'm pretty sure of it. He's out of the National anyway now, so
yeah, no, hopefully he can do it. So we've both gone for Tiger Roll in the cross country. So moving on to the penultimate race on the Wednesday, the Grand Annual. Do you want to take us through your pick, mate?
Yeah, I've gone for Embittered. He's a smart hurdler. He fell in this race 12 months ago, and he was well back that day. But since then, he's won on 2 chase starts. He won a Group 3 in October, and just looking through the trends, he ticks a lot of boxes again. So yeah, he's actually run well in graded company since last year. So yeah, that's who I'm siding with.
Yeah, again, I was torn between two, which was Amarillo Sky for Colin Tizard and Editor de Jeet for Gary Moore. So obviously two British horses, but I've opted to go for Editor de Jeet, actually. A horse quite fond of. It's done well in its past few starts. You know, when it won improving front running chaser, he was you know, he jumped boldly when landing a second course handicap in December, keeping on really well. And you know, he's a sort of go well again. You know, despite a career high mark, I think Editor de Jeet has got a chance here. And you know, again, you're looking for something. I mean, they're all sort of each way value at the moment, but
yeah,
I'd be tempted to go for a little each way bet on Editor de Jeet. And I think it's just the way that horse is improving, and I just think he'll have a lot more to give. And the Gary Moore yard have been on sensational form, haven't they, of late?
Yeah.
And it'd be good to see them have a Cheltenham winner as well. So yeah, I think at a bigger price, I think you can generally get about 14 to 1 at the moment for Editor de Jeet. So I'd be looking at him for an each way bet in this.
Yeah, I'm with you there, mate.
And then that takes us on nicely to the Champion Bumper, which is, of course, the last race on the Wednesday. Obviously, we touched on this, didn't we, a bit in our anti-post episode due to your Facile Vega at 10 to 1. So obviously, I know who you'll be going for.
Yeah, he wins, doesn't he, mate? He just does. he looks like an absolute monster.
Yeah, and I think Patrick Mullins has got the ride, hasn't he?
Yeah, I see that today. It's been confirmed. He'll keep the ride. I'm quite happy about that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting because I think Willie Mullins has 7 runners in this champion bumper, and you could probably make a case for quite a few of them, really, even the ones at bigger prices. You never know if they, they could be talents. You never know, with obvious potential. But yeah, I mean, I've opted to go for Facile Vega as well. It might look like we're going for the same picks for day 2, but it's just very, very strong favourites. And
yeah, when there's horses like that, it's hard to look elsewhere. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard to look past him, and he's got leading claims after the way he's won his first 2 races. He just looks something special. Obviously winning by 12 lengths, I think, at the Dublin Racing Festival.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I think I mentioned it on the anti-post episode, but I'd be tempted to have a little look at Redemption Day if he's still, I mean, you could probably get best odds guaranteed now if you wanted to, but even if you fancy a bet on the day, I'll be looking at him each way.
Yeah, I think he could definitely be shorter on the day.
100%. I really think he could. And, he's obviously, he was really impressive on his debut at Leopardstown back in, late December. So he's a bright prospect who demands probably nearly the amount of respect that we're giving to Facile Vega. American Mike, Gordon Elliott, again, won its first 2 starts. He was a very expensive recruit. So, yeah, it's definitely probably a bumper race that I'm looking forward to than any others over the last couple of years with the horses we've got in this year. Is there anything else at a bigger price? I mean, you look past Redemption Day, you've got James's Gate for Willie Mullins, and then after that, they're all massive prices. But yeah, is there anything else, or it's just the ones at the top of the market that do it for you, mate?
I think it's the ones at the top.
Yeah.
The 3 big boys in the market, sort of the ones that stand out to me.
Yeah, no, I think I agree. So yeah, we're both on Facile Vega, and hopefully he does win, so you can get one of your anti-post bets up at 10-1.
I hope so, mate. I need it.
So yeah, that's our day 2 preview for the Wednesday. I hope everyone enjoyed listening to that as much as they did for our first one. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at FPTP Podcast, and we'll be back very, very soon for the day 3 and day 4 previews as well to finish off the week.
Yep. Cheers for listening, guys.
Cheers.